well, and welcome back to my channel. So today I figured that considering I'm doing so much minimalism on my channel and I've already told you some things to get rid of, I thought I would give you some ideas and ways that can actually help you get rid of the items. Sometimes I know it's really hard to part with items that you may absolutely love and you've had forever. They may have a special memory or a sentiment, but they're just no longer needed in and around the home. So I'm going to give you some questions that you can ask yourself that should pretty much cover all bases on how and when you should get rid of an item to help minimize your home. So the first and most important question I would ask you is, have you used it in the past year? Have you used this item recently? Have you used it in the past year at any point whatsoever? If the answer is no, you know what I'm going to say? It needs to go in the trash. If the answer is yes, but it may be only once or twice, then I would suggest keeping it in a pile and maybe keeping it in a to toss pile and then reassess in 6 months or 3 months time. See if you've used it since, and if not, because it may be a season appropriate piece, it may be like some summer clothing, and obviously it's winter so it's not quite accurate to say have I used it since then. But if you don't use it this summer, then get rid, because you don't want to be keeping stuff that you haven't used. You can't think about the what if I use it in the future. It's have you used it, yes or no? There's your answer. Another question I would think about asking yourself is, if you were shopping now, would you buy this item? Now, the majority of times I buy something and then I look back and think, actually, I'm not really in love with that anymore, but I might be keeping hold of it because, like I mentioned, it might have a sentimental value, or it might have cost me a lot of money, or it might be a one-off piece. But if you're not using it anymore, then you might as well get rid of it. If you wouldn't buy it now, if it doesn't fit with your current home or your current dress style or whatever it may be, then it should definitely go. So another question is the reason that's stopping you from throwing it out because of the money? Now, this is a massive thing for me because I feel like if I bought an item, especially when it costs a lot of money, I don't want to waste that money, and that is a massive problem of mine. However, the way that you've got to look at it is not, am I going to waste the money by throwing it out, but I've already wasted that money when I bought it in the first place. I spent the money, I can't get a refund on it now, it's too late. Therefore, get rid of it and maybe sell it, and you can earn some of your money back, because by it just sitting there and never getting used, you're not making any money from it. It's only going to become more out of fashion or more outdated. It's going to still clutter your home and it's just not going to be worth it. So look at selling the item. You'll still make some money back from your purchase, and at the end of the day, like I said, that money's gone and you're never getting it back to start with. Now, another issue that I always come across when I'm trying to minimalize my home is that things hold a real sentimental value with me. I am one of those people that is sentimental. I love keeping things from, it's probably really bad, but I have a massive box in the loft of old teddy bears, and they're from when I was really young, and each one has a different memory, and I just love having them. And they're slightly different because I'm going to pass them on to my children when they grow up. However, there are some things that I've kept at sentimental value, and I had to go through and really minimalize through all of this when we looked to move house and really declutter, because our loft area wasn't as big for storage. We don't have a big garage like we had in our old house. We don't have an outback unit, a utility room, so we really had to strip everything back. So is it a sentimental purpose that you're keeping this item for? If it is, then look at it this way. You can keep a few items. No one's saying get rid of your whole childhood memory, but maybe take some pictures, and put them in a little area on your phone of like sentimental value. And then when you go back, you can still look at these sentimental things, but you'll have them digitally, and you'll be able to look and remember the memories and the thoughts it gave you by looking at them, rather than having those big items cluttering up your loft or your cupboards or your wardrobes or wherever it may be. So another really important question that I always ask myself is, do I have a similar item that does the same thing or has a similar purpose in and around my home? If I do, there's no need to have two. So what do I do this on? Cleaning products. I have so many cleaning products, and like I said, they've mounted up again, which is why I do minimalism regularly. I feel like it's not just a one-off, you minimalize your life and then you're done. Minimalism is a constant battle, and I find it enjoyable. I love clearing things out and then seeing the way that a room changes and the way that things get tidier and decluttered. I love that, but some people don't. Some people love having things around them and things, and I hate things. I love my house being as bare as possible. So I would look and see, have I got more than one of this? If I have, do I need more than one? Probably not. If not, can I sell it? Will it go to the tip? Can it go to a charity shop? And I get rid, because I don't need more of one thing that's going to do the same purpose. I love Zoflora, but I became a massive hoarder of it at one point, and I had loads of them. I only use one at a time. Maybe I'll alter between 2 scents. I've got my favourite, so I'll try a new scent, but then I shouldn't keep buying. The same with Method products, the same with antibacterial wipes. I'm just a nightmare when it comes to cleaning products. But likewise with shoes and long boots, and I mean, I had like 5 or 6 pair of Ugg boots at one point, and I had like some muddy pairs I could use outside and some good pairs and some pairs I hadn't quite used yet. Just ridiculous, way too much. Get rid of stuff that has got a similar purpose or that you've already got. You just don't need more than one. So if you're teetering on the edge of, do I keep it, do I not? Another big question you should ask yourself is, will I use it and do I have a solid plan to actually use this item? Now I find this in particular, it comes into account when it comes to my hair products. So I have a lot of curlers and rollers and things like that that I've never used, and last year I did get rid of quite a bit before we moved, and I sold them again to make money, because ultimately I don't use every pair of curling tongs that I've got. I have one lot of hair dryers that I have one hair dryer that I use, I have one lot of curling tongs that I use, and I have my straighteners, and I don't really venture off from that. I always buy new products and I don't think to get rid of them. So another massive tip for that would actually be to do the 1 in 1 out rule. So whenever you buy something and you bring it into your house, look at getting rid of whatever you've got and taking it back out the home. Another thing that I always find that obviously I ask myself is, will I use it, do I have a solid plan for, is I have a lot of kitchen equipment. So I have slow cookers, I have a rice cooker, I have blenders, whisks, you name it, I've got it. I've got so many kitchen products, and to be honest with you, I can't remember the last time I used my slow cooker, although I do use it and I know that I will use it again in the future. My rice cooker I haven't used in about 2 years, and I really don't know why I'm keeping on to it. I guess because it steams as well, so I was looking to do some baby food with it, but if I don't look to use it in the next couple of months whilst my baby's young, then I'm not gonna keep it. Likewise, I know I've got multiple whisks downstairs. Now I do use all of them, but I really think I need to look at them, because there is one item that does both instead of just having 2 separate items that do the same sort of thing. So again, it's kind of going back to the, do I have a similar item? But yeah, just really kind of having a look at it all. And another thing that I do really highly suggest doing is the 1 in 1 out rule. So going back to what I was saying about my curling tongs, I always like to try the curling tongs because they have different barrel effects on them, so they give different kind of looks. Some of them heat up quicker. I'm a big fan when it comes to buying that sort of stuff. But I then had loads of them, so I got rid of loads of them last year, and I have accumulated more since, so it's probably worthwhile me going back through my drawer and having a look. But definitely just using that 1 in 1 out rule. If you buy a new pair of shoes, chuck an old pair out. You don't need that many. Another big thing which you should always ask yourself is, does it fit you or does it fit your space? Now, like I said, I've been on a massive minimalism now for quite a few years, and for me it was down to not having too many products to clean, wasting time on cleaning, and having everything just looking really cluttered. It was just kind of a really big thing for me, because I do like my house tidy and everything in its place. If something got knocked out of place, it would bug me, and when my house is messy, I find I'm in a really down mood. So minimalism really works for me for that purpose. And if it doesn't fit my home, then I will get rid of it. There were some things that I was keeping on to for sentimental purposes, like picture frames that me and Adam had got, and there were some other items as well, like things that people had bought us, but I didn't like it. So some things I necessarily didn't get rid of, some things I just changed up a little and maybe went and bought like a new frame for that did fit, but then I threw out the old frame. But just really thinking about, does it fit you? And this really heavily applies to clothes. I know I've mentioned about have you worn it, but does it fit you? It's a massive thing. I always sit there and say, yeah, I'm going to lose those £5 and fit back into those pair of jeans. The likelihood is you're not going to. You're not going to lose that way. If you do, then great. And if you know that you've got a solid plan to do so, then keep them. But in 6 months' time, like I said, reassess. And if you haven't lost the weight, then bin the jeans. And I think my very last tip to ask yourself, and a question to ask yourself when you're doing minimalism, is when it comes to broken products. Now, I tend to have a thing of, again, if it's sentimental, I'm like, oh, it might be broken, but it's sentimental. Or if it costs a lot of money, I'm like, meh, don't really want to get rid of it. I want to kind of hold on to it. But you should ask yourself these questions. Okay, is it broken? If it is, you need to decide you can either A, chuck it, or 2, fix it. There are your 2 options. You can't keep a broken product. It is pointless. If you can fix it, then go and fix it now, or aim to fix it in the next few weeks. And again, look back, and in 2, 3, 4 months, whenever your little assessment period is where you want to kind of go back through, have a look. Did you fix it? Have you used it since? If not, get rid. If you have and it's fitting back into your life perfectly, then fabulous, great, you've got an item back and you've done what you needed to do. But letting those tasks linger on is a bit of a nightmare and just not something that you'd really want to do. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope these tips help you to minimalise your home a little bit more, because I know I really struggle when it comes to cutting things down. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all again for another video shortly. Bye guys.